you are in the right place. So if you attended our first one today, it did not look like this, right? We had our bottlenose dolphins out here. So this one is going to be totally different, and for that reason, really awesome. We have our two short-fin pilot whales, Ava and Piper. Now these two have a very special story. They were actually part of a mass stranding, and due to their young age, they were deemed non-releasable. So they were rehabilitated at SeaWorld Orlando, and then eventually they came here to join our short-fin pilot whale pod and dolphin pod, and they've been living with us ever since, and they've been thriving. So what's really special is these two girls, they get to coexist with the dolphins. Sometimes they're together with the dolphins, sometimes they're just in a pilot whale pod. So for this moment, for this inside look that we're gonna do with all of you guys, we're gonna get to see our pilot whales and really just focus on them. I like to give them a little spotlight sometimes too. So this inside look, what's special about it, this isn't necessarily like a big show feature where we have a lot of high-powered things back to back to back. This is a chance for you to get to see behind the scenes. So in a show, we get to see the finished product. We see the dolphins jumping together, doing front flips in specific spots in the pool. But in the inside look, we can give you a glimpse into their personalities, our playtime with them. How do we train those behaviors? How do we get from a dolphin just looking at us to a dolphin flying through the sky and doing a front flip? So those are some of the things we really love about this inside look. We get to break those behaviors down, we get to give you insight into how the animals learn them, and we get to see some of the just pure fun silliness of the in-between. Every single animal that you see here at SeaWorld, and specifically speaking to here at Dolphin Amphitheater, everything we do with them is all based on our relationship. We can't just simply walk up to them and ask them to do all of these complicated things. It's based on that bond of trust that we work on together. Every animal has their own personality. They all have different likes, different dislikes, and us as trainers, although we try to do everything exactly the same, we're all a little bit different too. So there is a learning process for us to learn the animal, but also for the animal to learn us. I've just talked a little bit about a relationship, having a relationship. Question that comes to mind, or comes from guests often, is how do you build a relationship with a 500-pound or 2,000-pound animal that lives in the water that you don't share language with, right? So it's a lot of time spent together, a lot of time getting to know each other, and from that comes the familiarity, comes the trust, and then we're able to build to all of these really exciting things. So I think today, for this particular inside look, we have a few fun things on the menu. I think, awesome. We're gonna work on a couple of behaviors that are in development, so that'll be really cool for you guys to get to see those steps broken down. And I think based on these enrichment devices I see on stage, we're also gonna get to toss in, we call them enrichment devices, or a nickname that you're familiar with, toys. We're gonna toss them in and see how the whales interact with them. I did talk a little bit about how the animals have different personalities. So along with that, we see the different animals respond to different enrichment devices. Some of them have a favorite that they're gonna grab the second it's in the pool. They're gonna have a really fun way that they like to play with it. Some don't really care for toys. Some are more into jello, ice, time with trainers. A little bit of vocalizations there from the whales as we're getting ready to step down. Always fun to see. Okay, so I believe, it looks like we might be starting with an Ava back time. Okay, so Piper and Mick are making their way over to the glass. Right here at stage we have Ava. So we have two behaviors we're setting up for. Yes. Mick is going to be working on I think we're going to start with, we're starting with the shark. Oh! Okay, so right now we see this target pull. Ava's going to, let's see where she's at in the process, and then I'll talk a little more. Beautiful. Okay, so that head going back and forth. That's basically, the finished product is going to be all on her own. She can turn towards the glass and go back and forth. So the joke is that sharks swim by whooshing their tail back and forth. Dolphins, pilot whales, up and down. So but they can replicate the movement, and it's adorable, if I may say so. Okay, now directing you over to the glass, we have Nick. Awesome. And we have Piper. So those two hands flying in the air. He's asking her what we call a yaw. She should jump kind of parallel with the glass, right in front of Nick. This, I think, is a new direction that he's asking her, so that's really awesome. So Mick's been working on it in a different place, different direction. Now he's kind of generalizing the behavior. He's spreading it out. So Piper's going to recognize this SD, know what she's doing no matter where she is, no matter who's asking.
Early break.
Awesome. So now he's going to ask the other way. And it sounds like he might be bridging it early, which he did. That just, once he saw her taking off on the right thing, he's confirming for her, yes, you're on the right track. You know what we're doing. Good job. Awesome. So we're happy with that with Piper. We might do the shark again, we'll see. But in the meantime, while they're figuring that out, we can talk a little bit about, my friend Jenny here is holding this target pole. This long white pole with a little bead on the end. Kind of looks like a Q-tip. So this is one of our most important training tools. The whistle, which you're hearing us, and then also this bead. This bead or this target pole gives them a direction, gives them a place that we'd like them to either come contact, jump towards, swim towards. So it's really helpful for Ava. It's helping give us that fast change of direction to replicate that little shark. You can almost hear the ba-na as she's going back and forth. Yes. So that really cool thrashy, that's beautiful. The more kind of character that goes into that one, the better. So Ava's doing awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we got to see a little bit of training there, a little bit of kind of starting behaviors. We're going to switch gears now, and all these fun enrichment devices, we're going to toss them into the pool and let the whales have free time with them. And like I said, different animals respond to the enrichment devices differently. Some are really into them, some are like, no thanks. So we really love and value seeing what do they like, what does each animal like? Do they enjoy this type of interaction? So we're just going to toss in a bunch of toys. The whales are now in their free time, they're not in a session. So this is really whatever they feel like doing. It looks like Piper's still checking that Mick's totally down. So there's Ava. Ava's already claimed one of them. And so sometimes this is really fun, we'll see this too. So she's actually soliciting interaction with the toys and the trainers, which is some of our favorite type of interaction. Just play. Play is really kind of at the heart of our relationships that we really value with these guys. Oh, so those vocals, those sounds we hear that she's making, we're not asking for those sounds. That's simply Ava, that's what she wants to do. That's the sound she feels like making. It's adorable. We like to say it's like coming out. So our soak zone down there at the glass, you guys are also in the toy zone, so everyone look alive. The whales do not often get the chance to have these enrichment devices with guests out here because they can toss them out of the pool. So please be aware, these can come out of the pool. Oh my goodness. So we're going to send trainers to the glass. The trainers will toss them back in for you. It looks like Erica's on the scene. Thank you, Erica. Okay, so going back a little bit into the training class. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh. So this is hip for the whales. This is pretty interactive and awesome. We noticed that with the dolphins when training, we can train a lot of behaviors at once. We can train, they could be learning maybe 6 new things with different trainers. We can work different things throughout the day, and we don't see a lot of confusion, give or take, depending on the animal. With the whales, we do notice we have to kind of slow it down. We don't work on as many new behaviors at once. Our SDs are going to, our hand signals for them are going to be a little slower, a little bigger. We often find that pilot whales are more prone to, they're learning that one thing. I don't care what you ask me right now, I gotta show you this new thing I'm working on. And we're gonna see whatever it is, if it's that bow or if it's that shark. I might be asking Ava, hey, can you go splash? And she's like, well, hold on, let me show you the shark first. So, really cool that it's such a unique experience training the 2 different species. They work differently. However, they do cohabitate really well. Pilot whales and bottlenose dolphins are found together out in the open ocean. And here at Dolphin Amphitheater, they live together as well. They're obviously, as you see right now, not together 100% of the time, but our 2 groups do really well together. Now these are just some of the different types of enrichment we can give to our animals. We have all different, just speaking of specifically toys like this, physical objects that can go into the pool. We have some that are buoyant, some that are going to be up on the surface level like this. Some enrichment devices that are down at the bottom of the pool. They're going to sink. They're going to encourage the animals to be interacting down at the bottom. We also have brush boards, or different boards that are installed around our different pools. Big rectangles that are installed right to the side of the pool, and we can apply different textures. Right now we have brush bristles, so they can actually go rub up on the side of that, get a little tactile interaction if they want to choose that. The cool thing about enrichment is choice for the animals, giving them different things they can pick. What do they want? What do they want to do with their time? What type of engagement do they want to do? And then on our end, learning from that, seeing who are you? What makes you tick? What do you like? What do you seek out? And that all goes back into our relationship, knowing each animal, each and every animal that you see here. They all participate in their own, this is just adorable, in their own voluntary husbandry or medical behaviors. We want every animal to be comfortable giving us once a month a blood sample. We want to be able to ultrasound if necessary, to lay a plate on their blowhole and get a chuff sample. All of these things, we spend a lot of time working with them. So a blood sample, we'll ask them to stretch their body out, leave us their tail flukes that we can hold on to, and a veterinarian can come simply just stick right into the tail flukes, and we can get a regular blood sample, have a really nice baseline, and have really nice health markers for each and every animal that lives here. We also have a scale that's right, you can see if you wrap around our stadium and look in the back side, our back pool has a big white scale. So each animal once a week is trained to slide out onto that scale. So we're able to get a weight on them once a week. We know how much food that they're getting. We look at those blood parameters, and then that last key element that's all based on relationship is just their behavior. How do they look? Do they look normal? Is there anything we need to pay attention to? And all those things together, that gives us a really nice health picture for each animal. And that's kind of the foundation of everything that we do with them. So over there, Nadia, you guys just heard some sounds that Ava was making. You heard a couple different sounds that she made from her blowhole. So a lot of times with the whales and the dolphins, we hear these really cool sounds that they make, and we see their mouth open while they're doing it. But all of the sounds that you hear all come from their blowhole. Dolphins do not have vocal cords like humans do. So instead, the mechanism that they're, oh my gosh, these sounds are killing you. The sounds that you're hearing are all made, it's kind of like if you were to let the air out of a balloon and it makes that high squealy sound. Very similar here, these guys use the muscles of their blowhole and they're able to force air through to make sound. But not only that, they can make different types of specific sound, which I find so impressive. We can ask what to make a raspberry sound versus what we call a normal vocal. They have a good variety of sounds that they can make, all simply by controlling the air coming out of their blowhole. So what's really special about right now, the trainers aren't truly asking the animals to come over for control and for a session. They're simply just offering playtime if the whales choose that. And clearly, the whales are choosing to come see what all this silliness is about. I can make my way out here, and if you guys have any questions when I get out there, feel free to raise your hand, and I can answer some of your questions. Okay, so now I'm down here in the splash zone with you guys. Nice deflection, Jenny. Does anybody have any questions for me? And if you think of some, oh, I